certain other common registration startup, I'll not go in detail, we have already seen. Factories Act license, again it varies from state to state. Trademarks or patents, so if you have a unique logo or a unique procedure, then you can register it under trademark or patents respectively. And lastly, you have legal metrology. So if you are dealing with goods and services goods which require to be measured, then you will have to obtain legal metrology controller's permission. And certain disclosure requirements if you are dealing with prepackaged commodities. So lastly, as you have seen, we have covered certain sector-specific and overall compliance requirements. So it's always suggested to seek professional advice, as if you think compliance is expensive, try non-compliance. All these licenses that you have seen, if you are operating without them, then there are stringent penal provisions applicable. So always seek professional advice before commencing your journey. Thank you.
Friends, can we have a huge round of applause to both the speakers, Sharda and Rajeshwari Pai, for giving us a rundown of the various procedural compliance formalities, giving us an understanding of the different forms of organization, how to choose, merits, demerits. So let me take this opportunity to thank both the speakers. I request Abhishek and Shubha Ganesh to kindly come forward and felicitate Rajeshwari Pai, one of our young speakers, for the time and effort involved. I request Sharda, Madam, to kindly join, please. Friends, the next session in line is trying to give answers to a very important question: how incubators can help in early stage startups. How incubators can help in early stage startups. To share his views on this very important topic, we have with us the investment manager from Derby Foundation, Mr. Adarsh. I request Adarsh to kindly come forward. May I request Abhishek to felicitate Mr. Adarsh with a memento, please. Friends, Adarsh is an investment banker. As I mentioned, at Derby Foundation, he is an enthusiastic and goal-driven person. He's coming from a strong finance background, having more than 4 years of experience in due diligence and early-stage investing. He is currently managing a portfolio of more than 30 startups with portfolio investment value of more than 25 crores. He is actively engaged in supporting startups in framing various strategies, financial planning and analysis, including valuations, and providing insights on their term sheets and investment agreements. With this brief introduction, I welcome Adarsh to the gathering. Over to you, Adarsh.
Present here on the topic of incubation. Moreover, the congratulations to FKCCI team for organizing such a big event here at the Manthan, and providing the startups, providing the entrepreneurs, the young entrepreneurs, the opportunity that is more than 600 students being participating in this Manthan. Secondly, I would also congratulate the top 75 teams who have been part of this 14th edition of Manthan 2022. Well, when it comes to the history, if you look at a history, the innovation does not just come from giving the incentives. It comes from converting the ideas into the scalable business model. Okay, incubators are such one organizations who provide the right ecosystem, for these ideas to nurture and to make it a scalable business model. Now, the startup ecosystem being one of the most popularly growing ecosystem in India and across the world, has multiple stakeholders in this system. Stakeholders being the innovators, being the entrepreneurs, being the consultants, being the third-party consultants and the intellectual property advisors, and the business incubators, one of them, playing the main roles in this ecosystem. I would like to put incubators as one of the first port of call for any of the entrepreneurs here. To start with, an entrepreneur can have a brilliant idea which can solve a real problems, a great utility, but making a business out of it, making a money out of it is completely a different aspect. It is one of the challenging tasks. As we see, everyone knows that more than 99% of the startups fail. Why do they fail? The reason is the guidance. The reason is access to funds. The reason is multiple other factors which they have missed. And probably these gaps can be filled through the incubators at the very early stage. An entrepreneur can have a brilliant idea, and many times the young entrepreneurs struggle when it comes to executing their business plan and commercializing the idea. Most of them, because mainly they do not come from the business background, or even the entrepreneurs who are coming from the business background, maybe a business schools, they do struggle in framing a GTM because there are so many go-to-market strategies that can be framed across a business. So getting a right expertise, a person who is experienced in a particular field will probably help these all entrepreneurs. And here is where the incubator comes into the picture. I will touch base upon the various supports as an incubator which extends to the startups. At least the major 4 to 5 of the supports that are being extended by the incubators to the startups. One is being the idea validation. See, when we talk about the idea validation for an entrepreneur, maybe an entrepreneur who's just coming out of the college, and they always primarily feel that their idea is revolutionary. Their idea is something that is going to make $1 billion of business. Okay, but that is not always the case, right? There is one stage wherein you will have to do the business validation, the idea validation. The idea validation is basically a stage where incubators do help you connect with the particular field expert and understand whether the idea, the value, the business problem which you are trying to solve, whether that problem actually exists or it's a problem only with your perspective. That's a problem validation. Then comes the solution validation, the solution which you are proposing and the solution which are already available in the market, because the solution you have it. But with the incubator's point of view, we cater more than 150 to 200 startup at a given point of time. We see that a particular startup is building a solution. There is also 10 other startup who is building a solution. So what makes an impact is the value proposition that each startup is proposing. So this idea validation stage, we also at our office, the Derby office, we also call this as looking into the mirror. That is holding the mirror and trying to understand whether this problem exists, whether my idea can be scalable, whether it can commercialize the idea. After this idea validation, we go on to the mentoring support. When we say the mentoring support, so first-time entrepreneurs and the mentoring on multiple aspects of business, which need a multiple, when I say multiple aspects, the go-to-market strategy being the one of the main critical area. Because you may have a product, you may have a solution, how do you commercialize? How do you make a money out of it is a big question. How do you take this to the market? How do you price this product into the market? Or how do you give a discount for this particular product? Whether you should go it through the CSR route or whether you should go as a profit-making route, what should be your route to take the product into the market? This is where the mentor pool which we have will advise you, will guide you on taking this product into the market. The competitive environment analysis, you may have heard about the TAM, SAM, and SOM, the target accessible market. So how do you actually identify those markets? How do you come at those points? Here, the mentoring is what plays a role. These mentoring sessions, these mentoring tasks which we do, provides a sound board to the startups, which can help the founders in ironing out the lot of issues they are facing or may face in the near future. The next being the shared resource pool. As earlier when the event started, somebody mentioned that what do the incubation do? Incubation is basically providing the co-working space and providing the internet access and not the funding and not the funding. So one thing I would want to clarify, it is not just the space, it is not just the internet that is provided, there's a shared pool of resources that is provided. So when I say, what do I mean by shared pool of resources? Access to the professional resources that a rockstar expert in a particular field, let's say medical field, a medical devices field, a medical devices, if you go into niche devices, let's say a pneumonia screening device. So somebody who has expertise in taking the niche device into the market, so that expertise, that's a shared pool of resources which can be made available. The shared pool includes everything from educating to using a particular software, using a particular hardware, as well as from providing the resources to use those particular softwares and hardwares. We do, as an incubator, host regular workshops for these numerous number of startups. These workshops often focus on topics such as forecasting, business model, business financials, the go-to-market strategy, the legal structures, intellectual property, where a startup who is just coming out of or entrepreneur who is just coming out of a college, and he needs a guidance on taking this product from a point 0 to point 100 to making it a $1 billion business, this guidance of these workshops that provide is a key role that it plays. Post shared resource pool services or a support that is extended, there's a co-working space. Now, what do you mean by co-working space? We do offer the free space to the startups who come sit at our office. They can work. Now, this is not the only benefit, right? I mean, you can see that there are 100 other startups sitting with you, and there can be a peer-to-peer learning which happens every day in, day out. Okay? Being a startup, it is not always that the entrepreneurs is flooded with the cash of money who can go and spend out who can go out and spend it on a physical infrastructure that is there. The huge cost is involved. And secondly, basically a lot of resources that a lot of people who are sitting there with the multiple ideas can actually make it a hot pot of many ideas, okay? So basically this is a co-working space support that incubation extends. After that, there is one more areas where nobody mentioned about this earlier, that is access to the labs and equipments. Among most beneficial aspect that the incubation center offer to the startups, there is one services that includes is the access to the labs and equipment. The equipment may include such a costly materials which a startup who is bootstrapped, who is running short of the cash, may not be able to afford to buy those products. But as an incubation who is supported by multiple departments, multiple corporates, do set up their wet labs, wherein the startup can go use, demonstrate the products, demonstrate the prototype they have built in those incubation labs that are there. Further, and coming to the last point where majority of the entrepreneurs look forward for the incubation is initial seed funding support. Many of the startups, when they reach out to the incubators, has a perspective that, okay, this guy is going to give me a money which will help me to scale, money which will help me to start, okay? And incubators have not fallen short of that. They always know that initial funding is very critical. We do support, make a direct investments, we do give the direct grants to the startups. This is one of the activity that we do for the funding. Whereas second activity for the funding that we do is making the investor programs, making the investor relation connects, wherein in this investor connection programs that happen, we bring in the lot of investors, the VCs and the angel networks, who come and listen to the startups which are recommended by us, the startups which are vetted by us, they come in and they listen to, and the funding happens. To brief on the funding part, I'm an investment manager, so from a Derby Foundation, right? So what we do is the startups who are engaged with us, we obviously give them a grants, and we also do the investment in those startups. We have close to invested about more than 30 startups as of now, and out of these 30 startups, more than 60% of the investment have been the co-investment with the VCs and the angel network firms that are there. So this VC funding, this angel funding, was able to be facilitated only because of the programs and the connections that we make with the VCs and the startups. So this is one point of funding I would want to touch on. This is more about the incubation services, incubation support that an incubator extends to the startup and the entrepreneurs. That being said, I would want to focus on how the Derby Foundation as an incubator functions and supports the startup. Derby Foundation is hosted by Dayanand Sagar Institution. The institution, and then this is also recognized by the Government of India, multiple departments of Government of India, being Department of Science and Technology, being Ministry of Electronics and Technology, being Startup India, Invest India team, and also the Government of Karnataka. So when we say these are one of the recognized, these are the bodies which fund the incubator, who in turn help and fund the startups that are there. We at Derby classify these startups, classify the entrepreneurs, classify the innovations into 3 stages. Basically, first stage being the PACE stage, where we say, okay, this particular innovation is at a proof of concept stage, or particularly this solution is at a initial validation stage. Okay, these form a part of the PACE program, where we run the customized program for these startups to help validate their proof of concept, to help validate their ideation stage products to a prototype development. We also support the startups here with the stipends. We also support the startups with the prototype grants that are there. Once the product is ready, the prototype is ready, these startups forms a part of the Gallup program, wherein we engage with them to taking the product from a prototype development to a MVP product. When I say this particular journey of taking a product from a prototype to MVP, this happens along with the seed funding that we do in the startups. Once this is done, that is a PACE and a Gallup you have finished, you come across to a stage called as Emerge. Here you fly off, that is you fly off with the acceleration. Here the plan is to scale your product. Here the plan is to make the sales much wider and larger and not to validate the product or develop a product. In this, we also support the startups in the acceleration in framing the strategies, as well as providing the deployment grants here. So these are the three various categories we bucket the entrepreneurs or the ideas, and we work along with them. Along with this, many of the incubators also support the startups. We as a Derby as well support the startups through CSR initiatives. The CSR initiatives from corporates which help deploy the solutions into the particular market, which helps make the impact into the market. So this is one of the initiatives. Over the past 5.5, 6 years, we have worked with more than 150 to 200 startups as of now. And just to share how it is being at the startup level, the incubator experience, I have along with me one of the startup who have been associated with us for more than 3 years now. And he has moved from a journey 0.0 to 0.100, which he is right now. Harish, please. If you could share a glimpse of being in a startup or entrepreneur's hat for probably a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Adarsh. So I am Harish, co-founder of Maker in Me Technologies. We work in STEM education. We provide products to schools as well as to STEM education companies who work and provide training to students in STEM education, which is like robotics and the latest use of latest technologies to make projects and learn through hands-on activities rather than just whatever textbook that they are learning through. So in that, we started with, like everyone else, we started with very small, and we are a bootstrap company. We ourselves, like founders, have contributed the funds, started with that. And right at that time, we got incubated in Derby, actually. And Derby, as Adarsh was mentioning, like any other incubation center, have helped us a lot in terms of mentoring network. This is one of the very important things, even though we founders were experienced in corporate jobs, but still startup is a different game. So mentoring network, mentoring is very essential here. So Derby helped us in getting us the good mentors, and that helped us a lot. The second is the access to the funds, which is not even the venture capitalist funds, but the various government schemes, be it like under Startup India, there are various schemes where the grants as well as the funds are being given by government. That happens through incubation centers many times. So incubation centers are involved there. They recommend or they work with startups as well as government together to conclude on that funding or the support that government is providing. So in that way also Derby has helped us. Recently, for example, we were selected by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology for scale-up funding support. So that has happened through Derby. So that way any incubation is very important for at early stage, especially. Once you are have already run this business for 2, 3 years, 4 years, then the help is more required in terms of scale up. But at the initially mentoring network, initial seed fund, it is very helpful, and it has been really proved helpful for us for Derby. Thank you. That's what I wanted to share my experience with you. I think I would also recommend that incubation, joining any incubation, will be very helpful for you to kind of solve your problems initially. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. Now, that being said, we as an incubator, when I mentioned that these are the 4 to 5 services that we offer to the startups, or we support the startups in this manner, I would say this is not limited. This is just a small list, or this is just a small glimpse I have given about the support that will be extended. Our doors will always be open to all the entrepreneurs out there, and we'll do all our best to support you, to make you a successful entrepreneur and to convert you into a unicorn. Thank you. Any queries? I'll be happy to answer around the incubation and the incubation space. Yep.
How can we approach you, like incubators?
Okay, approaching us is a very simple task, I'll tell you, because we are very active on all the social media platforms that are there, and we actively run the various programs details on these social media platforms. So you apply to us through any of the programs that are there, or reach us at the website that we are given. There is an application form link. You just apply to us and we reach out to you. And we are very proactive in reaching out to the startups and the entrepreneurs.
Do you have any specific criteria for like accepting?
Okay, those specific criteria, see, when it comes to you identifying an incubator, it is also a task, okay? Because incubators themselves are also focused in particular sector. Like we, as a Danan Sagar Derby Foundation, right, we are also focused on a healthcare and a health tech incubation centers. We try to onboard those startups because we see that there is where we can add more value. There is where we can validate the startup products with the Danan Sagar institutions, with the Danan Sagar hospitals that are there. And the hospital connects and the expert connect is where we can bring in. So you will have to identify, there are various incubators who focus particularly on agriculture. There are incubators who focus only on a fintech. So you have to identify that incubator where you can see the most value addition can be made. And then you approach to those incubators. Any other queries? Okay. If any queries are there, you can reach out to me over my email ID. Okay.
Thank you, Adarsh, for taking your time out and sharing your views with our audience here today. Friends, if I didn't make that clear, Derby actually stands for Dayanand Sagar Entrepreneurship Research and Business Incubation Foundation. That's the full form of Derby. So, of course, he'll be available offline as well in case anyone else has any further questions. On that note, let us start the next session to share his views and thoughts on this topic, MSME for startups and registration procedure. We have with us the Deputy Director of MSME Development Institute, Bangalore, Mr. R. Gopinath Rao. I request Abhishek and Ankur to kindly welcome Gopinath sir onto the stage and also recognize him with a shawl and a memento, please. Gopinath Rao has worked for 10 years in private companies in various textile units, including Bini Limited, Bangalore, Sairam's Textile Mills, Mumbai, Gokuldas Images, and Shahi Exports. He later on joined MSME Development Institute, Government of India, and is working in this department since 22 years. He has served in Haryana, Punjab in North India, and nearly 3 years, and served in Shillong, North India, Meghalaya also for about 3 years. He has underwent training in various sectors like ISO 9000, Z schemes, export management, cluster development program for MSME units as well. With this brief introduction, I welcome Mr. Gopinath Rao to this session today. Over to you, sir.
So, good afternoon to all of you. First, I thank FKCCI for organizing this wonderful program for young entrepreneurs and future industrialists of India. So the effort by FKCCI is always memorable and appreciable, because they are primarily connected to industries. They run by industrialists. So that will be a great advantage for entrepreneurs like you, the students like you. Because always any business you start, any industry you want to start, any service you want to start, you need a mentors, you need a supporting hands. So anything will not come immediately, it will take a time. Over a period of time, you have to learn by contact with the various organizations, various industries, various departments, various bankers. Because every development that takes place always has ups and downs in their journey. That can be experienced only when you pass through that. Because entrepreneurship is a journey with a ups and downs. Here, the type of programs, the things that you are getting is information from various speakers will definitely help you to know what best you want to do it. Because MSME, micro and small enterprises, most important sector in our Indian economy, and it's playing almost a very vibrant sector and supporting industries or GDPs up to 30%. When you talk about the MSMEs, you always remember it is the second sector after agriculture is giving in terms of employment. Around 12 to 13 crores of employments we are getting it. And the number of products which you can see is more than 8,000 products you can see in the MSMEs. And today India needs the entrepreneurs like you, because India is a land of opportunities. Today, you can see many investors, many entrepreneurs across the globe, they want to invest, they want to start industry in India, and creating a huge opportunity for employments. And for you, you can also think, what is the next we can do? New startups. Nearly 60 to 70,000 startups are existing in India, and I think by end of this month, the government is expecting around 75 years. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav ki matching almost 75,000 startups we can expect. Out of that, around 70 to 80% are all unicorn level. So it's you have to take interest, because today's scenario, if you see, the government and the state government, central or state, have got a huge opportunities. They are giving a lot of support for the startups and MSMEs, micro and small enterprises. So you not have to worry about the funding support, or technology, or marketing, or skilled laborers. So you have got everything, because today is a digital world. The digital world is nothing but you are all connected with everything. So you cannot say, I don't know. So you have to know it. You will get it immediately. Today, many startups have started with ideas, conceptions. So the government is promoting more and more startups, MSMEs, to solve the unemployment problems. We all know India is a young country. Why? Because the age group between 25 to 35 to 40, it will be around 60% of the populations are in between this category. So you got a huge manpower in the country. So that's why many investors or the opportunities, the industrial line, they're all focusing India. Many global branded products, they are aiming at to start in industries in India. So looking at the figure, the development that is taking place in India from past 5-10 years, we can see it is in spite of COVID, but we experienced India able to stand on its own in terms of vaccination, in terms of medical equipments, all other related issues, they were solved. Even though because of huge population, around 140 crores, we were able to overcome all these problems. So that is the strength of India. That is the young India, you can say. We have got every support. And MSME, the most important sector in our economy, under MSME development and facilitation office, our office, having 2 to 3 offices across each state, across India. In Bangalore, in Karnataka, we have 4 offices. Head office is in Bangalore, branch in Bngalore, Hubli taking care of North Karnataka, and Gulbarga is a branch office. Like that, in every state, there are 2 offices, they are functioning for the development and promotion of the MSME sectors. And you see the total number of MSMEs, that is around 6.5 crores. Still the number is trying to increase. And the employment wise, if you say, it is the second after agriculture, supporting for employment side. So the Karnataka data figures which you can see, what are the numbers? And Karnataka is one of the leading states in the country which is supporting MSMEs and startups. Ultimately, the Bangalore is the hub of startups and MSMEs. So, how to recognize, how to know about what is the classification of MSME? We know micro and small enterprises. So earlier, when you say small scale industries, the investment was the primary consideration for deciding whether it is a micro or small enterprises. Now, from 1st of July 2020 onwards, the government revised the definition and increased the turnover components, investment components, so that the more number of MSMEs can come under umbrella, MSME umbrella, and then take the benefits. That is the most important. Because during a pandemic, we all know the industry faced a lot of problems. Business was stopped, the markets were not there, movements were stopped, everything was stopped. So in that cases, in order to give more support to the MSMEs, to make them more vibrant again, the definition was done on 1st of July 2020 onwards, where if you say the micro industries, where the investment on plant and machinery up to 1 crore and turnover up to 5 crore, it can be called as micro enterprises. And if the investment is up to 10 crore and 50 crore is the turnover, then it's called as a small scale industry. And 50 and 250 crores for medium scale industry. This is the definition that revised. Earlier we used to focus only on the investment on plant and machineries. Now the turnover component also included. And the main purpose of including the turnover component was to classify the MSMEs, micro and small enterprises, and also to provide more and more support to the existing industries as well as for the promoting the prospective industries. And we know any industry, if you want to start, or a business initiative you want to start, now the government is trying to streamline everything. So digitalization is the most important focus, where we are trying to digitalize everything. The data should be available online. So whatever you do, whether manufacturing or a service, it should be registered, because the Government of India has got certain schemes it should reach to the particular industries if they are eligible for that. So accordingly, the data is very much important. So registration has become very important. So earlier the industrials, micro or small enterprises, they used to visit the state government department, district industry centers with the documents and then files, everything. They used to visit the state government department. Now it has been removed everything. It has been simplified. So the ease of doing ease of doing business, no, that is one of the area where you can see. Here the registration process has become simplified. It is a one page online, udyamregistration.gov.in. That is our portal the government released. Accordingly, all micro and small enterprises who are starting their unit or already existing, they can register in the Udyam portal. Because once you register, whatever the benefits you want to get, you are eligible to get from state or central government schemes, then registration is a must. Because many trade fairs when you participate, or subsidy you take it, or interest subsidy, or any incentives for taking any certification, all these things needs a Udyam registrations. Earlier we had Udyog Aadhaar memorandum. Now it has been changed to Udyam registration certificate. It is a number, one digital number that means given to all MSMEs. So you have to register in the portal through your Aadhaar card. That mobile number registered with the Aadhaar card. That is the most important. Once you register, you will get a certificate. This certificate is a one-time registration. No need of registration again. Revision or revise nothing. It's only a one-time registration. You have to do it. Here, what are the conditions which unit can register? We have proprietorship, private limited company, LLP, trust, partnership company. These are all business identity where we are trying to register. So proprietorship, if you are, then just with a Aadhaar card and mobile number, it's possible. You can just register. Partnership, one of the registered signatory, authorized signatories of the partnership company, so they can also register. Private limited company, again authorized signatory, PAN card of the company. So this is the process which we are trying to register in the portal. And based on the turnover, when you take the turnover for registration of the company, normally export is excluded. Export component will not be taken into considerations. Only the domestic trade phase, domestic turnover of the company is taken into considerations for deciding whether it's micro or small scale industries. Second point is, many industries over a period of time, it grows from micro to small, small to medium, medium to large scale industry. There is a growth for 5 years, 10 years, because every entrepreneur has to plan for next 5 years what should be my industry level, what should be my business level, what are the new things I can develop. There's a planning is required. That's a goal setting, you can say. So if you're entrepreneurs, you can plan like that. And next 5 years, 10 years, what will be the level? So this growth, government has identified and then made that when you grow from micro to small, automatically you will be jumped. That means growth will be there and your registration has to be changed from micro to small. Because of this particular portal, Udyam registration is connected to income tax database, because your PAN card is linked here and automatically you are linked to income tax database. So every year you are going to file, your company's turnover will be filed in the income tax, and you will come to know where your industry is in the previous year. For example, 2021 is the base year now. Now, if 2021, 21, 22 you already filed, then based on the investment that you show in the balance sheet, then your unit will be decided. Whether you are a micro in that period, whether you are a small in that period, or you are migrated to that. Then automatically information will come to your mail, registered mail or a SMS to your mobile, that you have to update your Udyam registration. Automatically your things has to be updated. So now the system has been built in such a manner. So that shows the government is interested to digitalize the process. So your activity will be more faster, the assistance will be more faster, and getting the support from the government is also more faster. And as well as was the manual intervention is reduced. So digitally you can do it now. Now the calculation of the turnover which I mentioned, the domestic terms, we are taking excluding the export orders. And the calculation of income tax, income tax once you file, the turnover, investment on plant and machinery, automatically it will reflect in your balance sheet, which will be captured from the income tax database. Then you have to update year-to-year basis. Now, these are all the basic things which you have to do it. If you want to get any assistance from the government, registration. And what other things we have to improve the MSME strength? Because we know MSME is always having a lot of problems. Lack of technology, lack of marketing support, lack of funding support to the sector. Many of the bankers, when you go with the project report or a balance sheet, finally they will say how much you want money. Then you want, say about 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs for your business. First they will ask you what is your turnover, what is your product, what is your project, what is your business plan. All these things will approve. They will ask you. If you are not able to answer, to convince the managers or anything, then the project will not be accepted for your financial support under the scheme. So, what is the next? How to improve your competitiveness? That is very important. That means in-house working, your work in your own industry is a must to face the competitiveness, to improve your competitiveness. This is very important. This competitiveness of MSMEs. That's why where the MSME comes into the picture. We have certain schemes which particularly helps the industries to make them very strong and to face more and more challenges. Because if you want to face the challenges, you should be ready with all ammunitions, no? Like that, unless you are strong, how do you face the challenges? Because today's world, many products are in the market. So how to compete with them? What are the qualities you have to see that? So that's all most important point. So to improve this lean manufacturing technique schemes which you have, which will help the MSMEs, if the group of 10 units are coming together under one group as under a special purpose vehicle which we call, and they can avail the benefits from a consultant, that is lean manufacturing consultant. He is aware of many manufacturing tools to improve the qualities and the productivity and all other parameters which is required for improving the productivity and the activities of the MSME sectors. So always these consultant will charge a lot of money, and the micro and small enterprises, they may not be in a position to incur such money. In such cases, how to solve this? So the government thought, instead of using consultant by one unit, if 5 to 10 units are coming together, they can take the benefit from the consultant, single consultant, which is he is going to give support to these industries to upgrade their level, to increase their productivity. So in-house system has to be developed. So in such cases, this particular scheme, lean manufacturing, will help. Since the micro and small enterprises are always having a problem in financial side, government is coming out with a support, that is consultant fees, where we are going to support this group of industries. We are having a 10 industries up to 36 lakh rupees per clusters, that is in the ratio of 80-20 ratios. So there are so many manufacturing techniques like which I mentioned here, and implementing by these tools, definitely MSME is going to improve their competitiveness. They become strong. And for this, the funding will be almost 36 lakhs rupees per clusters we can give. And the ratio of, at the ratio of 80-20 ratio. And we can't implement directly being the government organization. And we are implementing through other organization which is under the Government of India, that is Quality Control of India, or National Productivity Council. So through this, the scheme particularly been implemented. We have got a list of lean manufacturing consultants. They will be given the job to go for this, attending this lean manufacturing techniques. The duration will be almost 18 months. So before and after, the growth will be measured. What is the input? And the industry has availed. What is the growth? That we have to measure it. So based on that one, the outcome of the total program, the funding will be released to the consultant. Now we have another one more scheme, zero defect, zero effect. We know when you manufacture, any MSMEs, they manufacture product. When you release in the market, it should be of defect free. Recently, you have seen many of the products which we are seeing in the social media, defects, especially in recent national flag. Assuming that's one of the product, you see a lot of defects there we were found. They are not aware of what should be the standards, what are the collars, what are the specifications that should be followed. There is a guideline for everything. Like the similar example I told, many products when you go to the market, you see, if it is not satisfied to your level, or if it is not as per your specifications, as per specification of the buyer, naturally you will see the products will not be accepted by the buyer. Such cases, the defect becomes a major point. Again, reworking, taking the product into your manufacturing site, reworking, recycling, again, it becomes more expenditure. Your cost will be included. Cost of production will increase. So in order to avoid all these things, now we have started one particular scheme called Zero Defect, Zero Effect. That is Z certification. And we are all know about ISO 9000, ISO 9001, ISO 9000, 45001, all so many certifications. Now we are focusing on manufacturing side where this certificate, Z certificate plays a major role, which every MSME is emphasized to acquire that certificate. Because many defense sectors, they need a precision components. One more thing the government had made after this COVID, the global tenders. You know, up to 200 crores, there is no global tenders. All MSMEs are encouraged to manufacture the in-house facilities. So technologies are there. More and more now defense products, aerospace components are being manufactured by MSMEs after this global tender was restricted. So see the strength of MSMEs. So in order to encourage all these things, this certification becomes very important. There are 3 certificates. Earlier we had 5, now it has been reduced to 3. That is bronze, silver and the gold. So instead of this ISO 9001 other certificate we have to promote this Z certification under the Ministry of MSME. The 3 C certificate, bronze, silver and gold, you will those micro and small enterprises or medium scale industries which are going to avail these certificates or take these certificates, then they will get the subsidy, because all are related to the subsidies, because we have to encourage the MSMEs to go for the certification of MSME, means that certification. Here micro enterprises, they are going to get 80% subsidy, small scale industry, they are going to get 60% subsidy, and medium scale they are going to get 50% subsidies. So all manufacturing units are advised to go for these Z certifications. We have got a Z approved lean consultants are there, I mean Z consultants are there. We have got 3 consultants for Karnataka. We have all are in Bangalore. So those units which are interested to go for Z certification, we can refer them for this consultant, Z consultant, and they can able to do it. And moreover, all the beginner, the brand certificate is very important. That will you will get immediately. One is zmsme.gov.in, that is our portal. All MSMEs, nowadays I am just in contact with all MSMEs which are in our social media, social contact, with the WhatsApp group. And almost every day 2 to 3 micro enterprises are getting this bronze certification. It's a simple process. So to get each certification, certain parameter has to be fulfilled. For example, for brand certificate, 5 parameters has to be fulfilled. For silver, 9 parameters has to be fulfilled. For gold, another 6. That means total 20 has to be fulfilled for acquiring this gold certifications. So, in nutshell, every certificate has got its own value. So, it is valid for 3 years. This certificate is valid for 3 years. And whatever the expenditures incurred to get this certification, all are subsidized. So, you can get the subsidy for that. So, another benefits is, whenever you participate in any trade fair, you will get extra funding for that. For example, 3 lakh rupees is the stall rent. You will get a 3 lakh rupees plus 50,000 rupees if it is Z certified. Z certified with the silver or the gold, you will get a 3 lakh plus 75,000 rupees. So extra amount you will get it. And further, the Z certified units are also getting a subsidy, I mean interest rates differences. Interest rates also a little bit down when you get a Z certified. Even in GEM portal, this is a government e-marketing, GEM portal also, the vendor assessment portion is removed if you are a Z certified. I will come to later. So, what are the parameters that they are going to see in getting the Z certifications? We have got a quality management, production management, and environment, energy management. So, all these areas are covered in this certification. You see the entire area, entire process have been covered in this certification, just certification, including design management, performance management. So the each thing have got a 4 to 5 parameters. So if you are satisfied with documentary proof, then automatically you will get the certifications. So this is the one certification. One is lean manufacturing, and other is a zero defect, zero effect. That certification. These 2 areas where it definitely will improve the productivity of the MSMEs and will make them very strong and competitiveness. And who are the implementing agents? Online we have got you can see our website, dcmsme.gov.in is our website. And the implementing is by QCI. And as I tell, the GEM portal, we have got private portal, that is Amazon maybe, or Flipkart. Government thought we have got a scheme, public procurement policy. Under that, all public sector units, all ministries, all departments under the central government are required to procure minimum 25% of their annual requirement from micro and small enterprises. Even startups also included. They can also supply it. 25% of their annual requirement. It's a compulsory from 1st of April 2015 onwards. That means every year government is procuring nearly 1,40,000 crores to 1,60,000 crores of worth of items across length and breadth of the country from the MSMEs. Sorry, total industry procurement. Out of that, around 30 to 40%, nearly 40,000 crores only from micro and small enterprises. So this huge procurement takes place every year. Then government thought, why can't we have our own portal which will enable the micro and small enterprises and other startups to become a seller. In that particular seller here, GEM portal, we have micro and small enterprises as the seller and the buyer is the government. Government is going to procure whatever you manufacture as per the specification. So now we have to encourage micro and small enterprise to register in the GEM portal. I will show you the number of SMEs which are registered in the last slide. So here, when you registered in the portal, vendor assessment is required. That means whether it is exactly industries are there not, what they are manufacturing, what is their turnover, everything has to be assessed. So this year, if you are Z certified, that vendor assessment is removed. It's not a compulsory for you. So here the option has been given here. So this is one of the area where if you, MSMEs find it very easy to get into the Z certification. Now, coming to the IPR is also one of the area where all of you, we are talking about the innovations, incubations, design clinic, intellectual property rights. Here, incubation, your idea comes into the picture. Similar to startup line, we also have incubations, where we recognize the technical colleges, where we are supporting the technical colleges by providing almost 1 crore for developing the infrastructures, and also ideas up to 15 lakh rupees we are going to fund for ideas. At least 2 ideas we expect from each technical colleges, and for which we are going to support up to 30 lakh rupees. This amount will be utilized for your logistic purpose, raw material purpose, all other things which you need to develop your ideas. So here it becomes very important. So college is going to get host institute. Normally that college is called host institutions. See, for example, Dayanand Sagar also has got availed our benefits from the incubation. And host institutions will be further eligible for seed capital funds up to 1 crore again, 5 projects. If they are selecting best startup, then we can give funding support up to 1 crore, 20 lakhs each. So 5 startups it can be funded. So the government is also trying to help these startups through incubations. And further, under IPR, we have got design clinic. Design clinic being implemented by our Indian Institute of Science, where now the amount has been increased from earlier 15 lakhs to 40 lakhs now. If you have any MSMEs who are interested to go for availing the design clinic, then they have to register online. Then online it will go to respective department, that is IISc it will go. Then IISc will form an assessment committee where we are MSME is also one of the part of that, and we will go for the conceptualization or any changes if you want. Accordingly, all the things will be changed with the IISc support, and funding also will be directly given to the IISc. So you can avail the benefits under the design clinic. And similarly for intellectual property rights, patent registrations. We have got a patent registrations. If you once you incubation, you develop concepts and then design and then protecting your ideas. Very important because duplications will happening everywhere. So you have to protect your original ideas. So in order to support this IPR becomes very important, and where you are going to support and then get the benefits. And under this foreign registration, when you register domestic, you will get 1 lakh rupees. For foreign registration, up to 5 lakh rupees. And the patent registration, which I am talking about that. And GA registrations, up to 2 lakh rupees you are going to get. And trademarks, for example, when you manufacture a product, normally trademarks is very important. Every product you manufacture, no, there are so many products in the market. And how to customers can recognize, how to remember your products, that is most important. The trademarks, when you register, it is also you are going to incur some funding support. Their government also encouraging to register in the trademark and get the benefits. And up to 10,000 rupees, we are going to fund it. So this is the, under IPR we are trying to help. So apart from that, what other benefits government is trying to help? That is cluster development program. Then what is a clusters? When you say micro and small enterprises, normally you know, as I mentioned, there are a lot of problems to go for technology upgradation or a machinery purchases. Anything you do, you have got problems. So in order to address these problems, government is thought, if the group of industries come together, we can provide the common facility centers. What is a common facility centers? Like for example, there is a shortage of skilled laborers. There is a shortage of raw material go down or some common facility centers which is required for the industries. This especially micro and small enterprises they need of such type of benefits. So if the group of industries, minimum 20 industries and above, if they come together, then common facility centers can be given. So here the funding support is required. What is the funding? How much funding is going to give? Up to 30 crores we are going to fund for this common facility centers. It is a grant. It is not a loan. It is a grant. So main objective of this cluster development program is to build the capacities of MSMEs. We know the problems of the MSMEs, but how to improve their capacities, how to increase their capacities. So this is the main point. So to increase that one, when they come together under one umbrella, these benefits can be given to them. And promotion and sustainable of the business, which you have mentioned in the manufacturing, this particular scheme is applicable for manufacturing. Okay. Now, what are the grants government is expected to give? 80% for general categories. If all industries comes under general category, then it is under 80% in give. If it is SC, ST or anything there, almost 100% is going to be free for the CFC. And the funding support, how the government is trying to help. In the case of, as I mentioned, there is a 30 crore is the maximum limit. Now, there is one scheme called Spurti Clusters. Spurti Clusters especially for promoting the artisans. There are artisans, many important arts, they are getting down because it is over a period of time, non-availability of the artisans, that particular skill has been getting vanished. So, especially for Chenpatna toys, you can say this is made from the wooden. So, the skilled laborers are not there. So, you have to promote that also. That is artisan-based products. In such cases, it is called Spurti, where we are going to support the artisans up to 500. If there are 500 artisans are there or 250 artisans are there, then we are going to support them under common facility centers up to 5 crores. So, those artisans clusters normally across India handled by the KVAC, Khadi Village Industry Commission, as well as MSME DI. So, for that, we are going to support up to 5 crores. Now, from 5 crores to those project crosses 5 crores and above, then it comes under MSME Cluster Development Program. Here, the funding support is 90%, 70%, and 20% and 10%. We have got the project cost, if it is between 5 crores to 10 crore, the 70, 20, and 10. That means 70% we are going to fund for the common facility centers, 20% from the state government. They are also committed to give, and 10% from the stakeholders. That is SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle, under the Section 8 company they have to form. Under that, you will get the 10% they have to contribute. So here common facilities can be established by the funding support from the either both from the central as well as from the state and the stakeholders contributions. If the project cost increases from 10 crores to and above and up to 30 crores, funding pattern again changes. That is 60, 20 and 20. So 60% from the government side, 20% from the state government side, and 20% from the SPV side. So this is the funding pattern. Similarly, we have also supporting the industries, estates, industrial areas. Because any industrial areas, or industrial estate, they need common facilities like road, common sewages, power lines, and then common water facilities. So all these things are required. So under that also, we are supporting the industries up to 5 to 10 crores. That is also available. So what are the common facilities which we can develop for this group of industries? That is especially R&D, effluent treatment plant, common training centers, common raw material bank that you can be done, cold storages. For food processing industry, you need a cold storages. So that is also can be done. Even common raw material as well as common logistics centers. So these are all the possible common facilities areas where we are supporting the industries to promote their growth. So these are all the areas where government tries to help them. Individual industries cannot go for this type of investment. So in order to support this side work that is required for the MSMEs, we are supporting through these cluster development programs. So what is number of industries are required? So if the project cost is below 5 to 10 crores, then 10 industries are required. If it is between 10 to 30 crores, 20 units are minimum required. So this is the condition required for the availing the Government of India scheme. So, and also to get the CFC, the land or the building, it should be in the name of SPV, Common Facility Center, which you are going to set up in a particular place. Then it should be in the name of SPV only. Government will not interfere in that one. Only thing is either the land can be on the lease basis or building on the lease basis, or it can be in the name of SPVs. And only machineries which is under the control of the government, it is always the property of the government, which you cannot sell or mortgage to any bankers for financial assistance. Now, we know MSME is always, this is about major schemes which I wanted to highlight you. And next we talk about the marketing. Marketing is very important because any MSMEs, when they manufacture or provide any type of services, marketing is very important. So in order to encourage the MSMEs to go for marketing, expand their businesses, this procurement and manufacturing, PMS, manufacturing, procurement and marketing scheme, which is a PMS scheme, which is very important for micro and small enterprises. Here we have trade fair details. So many areas, many part of the country, always there are so many trade fairs are happening. In the trade fairs, lot of expenditure are involved for the MSMEs. So they have to take their stalls, they have to move from one place of manufacturing to other places. So all these areas, normally they have to incur the expenditures. In order to support the MSMEs, we have trade fairs. When they participate in the trade fairs, they are going to get the reimbursement. That is 80% for general categories and 100% for SC, ST and women categories. So that is the one where the the government is supporting the MSMEs. So why the MSMEs participate in trade fair? What is the advantages of participating in trade fair? One is you are going to increase their businesses. Another one is increase the networking. Another is to find out the new products in the market. Another one is to become the vendors in the national level or any leading industries, PSUs. So the amount which you are going to support MSMEs up to 1.5 lakhs if they are participating in any metro or A1 cities, especially if they are participating in Bangalore or Delhi or any other place, metro cities, the MSMEs will going to get a reimbursement up to 1.5 lakhs. And as on today, I have around 9 trade fairs in Bangalore which have been approved. And all these trade fairs are taking place either in the Bangalore International Exhibition Center or in the Palace Ground or in the Karnataka Trade Promotion Council Organization, Whitefield. So in all these areas, the trade fairs are happening, and we are encouraging the MSME to participate in trade fairs and to avail the benefits under the financial support. So international trade fairs, not only in domestic trade fairs, some MSMEs, they want to go for the trade fair in outside of India, Germany, Europe countries, or US, Japan, anywhere they want to go. So they have to participate. To encourage them, we also, same parameter holds good when they participate in the trade fair. 100% free for men and the SC/ST categories, and 80% for women, general categories. So like that, you can also avail the benefits under the marketing support. And to encourage further MSMEs, we also organize vendor development program. What is a vendor development program? We all know all public sector units, normally they have to take the benefits, support from the MSMEs. That is, the small and micro enterprise, they can become the vendors for PSUs. So these particular programs we are organizing frequently with the PSUs and the MSMEs on a common platform for 2 days programs where the MSMEs can become the vendors for PSUs. So this will give an opportunity for them to increase their marketing link. For example, railways, Indian oil corporations, they need a lot of MSMEs because they need packaging materials, or electronic component suppliers, or precision component suppliers, electrical components, or textile-based components. So anything they want to give support to the MSMEs. So here the vendor registration becomes a very, very important. Now the capacity building, another area where government is trying to help is the packaging. You know, packaging industry, has a wide scope. You got a huge opportunity in packaging industries. Any sector you take, you need a packaging materials. Any product you take, you need a packaging materials. So here the opportunities are huge. So here to increase the MSMEs to go for packaging consultants are normally or utilized in the MSME sectors, where we are going to fund them up to 50,000 rupees for any consultant they use. These consultants, they are either from the Indian Institute of Packaging or NID, National Institute of Design. They can also be availed. So they are all with MSMEs, with MSME ministries. Adoption of barcode. This is the new thing. Earlier it was there. They have stopped in between. Now they are also increased the barcode. Now all the products which you manufacture, barcode is the most important, because barcode gives you complete picture about where it's been manufactured, when it was manufactured, all the details will be recorded in the barcode when you scan it. So here, to encourage the MSMEs, the barcode on the products is very much important. So here, we are going to fund up to 56,000 for 100 number barcodes. So all micro enterprises only. Here, this particular facility is only for micro enterprises, no, not for the small. So to increase the micro enterprises, this particular barcode has been introduced only for micro enterprises. Now, e-platform. If you want to start your own website to market your products, you are going to get up to 25,000 rupees or 75%, whichever is less. So another, normally we are also organizing national seminars and workshop as in time to time to give more importance to the MSMEs, where we are going to funding support up to 5 lakh rupees we are going to give. If you want to organize any national level seminars or a workshop, you can apply for MSME online and get the benefits. Similarly, for development of retail outside, this is one recent concept they are introduced. We all know GI products, geographical indicated products. So, which is very important. The market is required for that particular products. For example, we know there are 45 products in Karnataka which are recognized under GI indications. For example, our Mysore Pak, betel leaf, or a silk, Mysore silk, or a Udupi silk, and the flower. So all these certain products now, up to 45 products are GI registered. So these products require some marketing. If you are starting any retail outlet, we are going to fund up to 30 lakhs for setting up of your retail outlets. So this is one new scheme that they have introduced now. And other things, I think, international cooperation schemes and Atmanirbhar, another one area where the government announced during the pandemic situation, and other benefits, I think it's not related to you much. As far as possible, this particular emergency credit link scheme, which was announced in the month of July 2020 onwards, as on today, almost 3,40,000 crores have been sanctioned for MSMEs. Almost 1,20,000 units have got benefited. So under this particular scheme. So I don't want much of this one. E-marketing, another one area where I mentioned about we are the MSMEs initiative. It is under GEM. All the MSMEs can register, even startup also they can register in this one. And as on today, if you see the turnover or business value in the portal is almost 1 crore it has crossed. So 1 lakh crores almost it has been crossed under the GEM portal. So there are buyers around 62,000 nearly, sales and service provider, product category around 10,000, service category 299, transaction value almost 2,77,000 crores. So MSME, all this, the products which can see almost in the portal itself is around 4,50,000 piece numbers. So if you see, you got a huge opportunities when you become a part of government vendors or PSU vendors. So you always try to register. First is registration is important in Udyam portal, and then take the benefits under the MSME schemes. And you can to log in our website dcmsme.gov.in. That is our portal, which you can see that portal and then take the benefits. So all new ideas always welcome. And if you want any project report, whatever you ideas you have, whatever you planned, you should put it in a proper project report, because project report is the one which gives a complete details about your ideas and the machineries, technologies, everything is involved in the project report. Because any financial institutions normally under our schemes requires the project reports. For example, if you are going for a startup, normally all investors will come into the picture. You are going to get the funding from them. But the Government of India schemes under maybe for PSB loans on portal, 59 minutes loan, or under credit guarantee fund trust scheme, where the loan is up to 2 crore is possible, and Stand Up India exclusively for women entrepreneurs or SC/ST categories up to 2 crore, up to 1 crore is possible. Mudra loan up to 10,000 rupees. And those who are starting the business in the beginning line, first generation, and under PMEGP, Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, where the amount has been increased from earlier it was 25 lakhs, now it has increased to 50 lakhs. So it's a good opportunity if you are starting the business with a minimum 50 lakhs with project. This particular scheme, PMEGP, Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, that particular scheme you can use it with a proper project reports. It is available on the portal online kvac.gov.in. In that portal, this particular online you have to upload. So all the schemes which you want to take benefits, all to be online only. No hard copies are required. Online, it is available on the portal. So I think with this, I can conclude this thing. Any doubt is there, you are most welcome to ask. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Well, thank you, Gopinath Rao sir, for giving the necessary awareness, guidance on the very concept of MSME, what is in store if you register, how to register, various benefits, and an overwhelming set of advantages that are there if you register yourself as an MSME. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Gopinath Rao sir.
So I am an engineer. I personally was not interested in doing engineering. So I thought I would simultaneously maintain both the things, and I did. So I did enter into psychology, and right now I'm about to complete my master's in counseling psychology, as well as I thought basically to do any startup or to run around anything, I think first thing is expertise. So I thought of collecting the expertise and going around and working around with people to learn and to basically take risks on their money. So yeah, I did that, and I've been doing so till now, as well as simultaneously do my own freelancing, as well as working upon the business idea in the health industry. So we are coming up with that.
And you're making some money and you're freelancing as well?
Yes, very
awesome.
much.
So this is
I'm doing a job as well and studying too.
Man, amazing. A round of applause, yeah? Come on. This is like amazing. So hang around, guys. Let's hang around and let's do this. So I just want to understand, right? I mean, how much of these things have you all heard of? I don't want to make this a boring reading out kind of stuff, but has anyone tried to explore how to get a government grant? And maybe you should also talk to the government of Karnataka for whoever is eligible. There is something called an Elevate program. Okay? So have you heard of it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's a good one, right? You can make some money, and freelancing is a good one because you learn business. And don't get scared, okay? See, I know that India is not an easy place to do business. There are legalities, there are so many challenges, there will be money you have to spend, you have to do a lot of running around, but it's worth the journey. But at the same time, please do your studies properly.
Definitely.
Pass your exams really well. Don't bunk classes. And I hope I'm being recorded so that tomorrow there should not be any problem for me, okay? Would you like to stay back? You want to go back? What do you want to do? We can you want to hang around? Yeah, you want to hang around, guys? You all are good to just, so anything else that I would, like anything specific that you want to ask about this? Bank loans are there, angel investments are there, grants we have talked about, right? Profits from business, etc., right? Anything else that is not clear, so that, we can actually make it as interactive as possible. And for you also, anything that you want to ask me questions, anyone can ask. I'll move forward because I want to make it as useful for you folks as possible. Okay? And if you all don't mind, I'm sharing this out. I don't know whether it'll reach you all on time or not. You all can take screenshots or you can understand this. Basically what I'm saying is many of the states are giving a lot of support, okay? There is something called Kerala Startup Mission. Then the TN Startup Policy, they are really doing some amazing work. And I would encourage all of you all, please understand the website and the various aspects about Startup India. I'm not sure if you guys have taken some time out, on whoever is here, but this will really give you a perspective of what's happening. And industry bodies, right? You all are here because of the help, support and collaboration between industry bodies. You all are here because certain entrepreneurs are taking their time out to help you all people with this Manthan program. Okay, so you all are very privileged and lucky. But of course, at the same time, you all have put in a lot of hard work. So how much hard work did you put in, buddy, to get here?
Yeah, so hard work cannot be actually calculated or measured. So I would say that we've been investing time for about 2 years on this product. And we hope it is going to bring a lot of value and going to solve the problem.
So what does it do? If you can give a 15-second elevator pitch.
So it allows you to take tests from any part of the world when you have access to your internet and a phone or a computer. And unlike Google Forms can also do it. Unlike Google Forms, it gives you accessibility to match the following, fill in the blanks, essay type, all kinds of answer, coding, everything. And it is also auto-corrected. You write the exam, 15 seconds, you have the score.
And do you charge money for this? It's free.
it is a B2B for now. We do charge money.
Okay, good. So making money is important also, right? What about your startup? Is it making money?
Yes, we are making. Right now, we need more guidance to increase it, but we are kind of making it.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll tell you why I ask these very specific questions. When we're saying types of funding, right, you can go for equity, you can go for grants, but one of the best ways to make money is from customers, right? B2B, or B2C, whichever way, try to get money from the customers, because ultimately you have to do that. It's not about that I've got a lot of funding or I've borrowed money or my family has given me. You must make money from customers as well. Any of you have tried to get money from your parents to set up a business?
Yeah.
How easy was the process? Because that's also, tell now.
No, I took around 1.5 years to 2 years to convince my dad, yes, my idea is valid. Then he gave a bit of amount for the networking, a bit of amount up to 50,000, and then for the app development and all up to 50,000. So 1 lakh he gave, and now he is waiting for me to return.
So is it a return on investment or with interest, or you giving him equity in the company?
He has taken the equity.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, sorry you guys, my phone is... Okay. Any questions here? I've talked about different programs, whatever the associations are there, etc., etc. Any questions, inputs, thoughts, or we can move on? Just give a quick shout out, yes, no, so that we can move forward. All right? We'll come back. We'll do revision of all this stuff. This is something slightly different, because this is something, if you're doing something where you're having a compassion and you are empathetic towards society, and you want to do this where you want to, it's not about making money, though you need the money, but you want to do this for a societal good. Okay, so there are a lot of grants. What does CSR stand for? Okay, so that's something that is, it's in the law that up to 2% of profits, companies over a certain period of time are trying to utilize to give back to the society. Okay, and then we'll talk about the donations, sales from your products, own money, and then I've also given some websites where you can go through about, what is a Indian public policy about CSR, all right? So these are some of the, resources that I would love you guys to use. Okay, good enough? Good enough? Can we move forward? Yes. We'll come back. I'm just saying we'll do a revision, but I want to cover everything, right? Now take a look at this. Though we did touch base about this, I want to talk a little bit more about it. Okay, where it talks about, things like students for young entrepreneurs, networking, what can you do? Any of you all have thought about interning with some startups or something?
Yes, already do.
All right, and how did you go about it? What are the examples you can give? All of you, anyone?
Currently, I'm interning as data scientist in one of the startup Turing Minds. So yeah, it is easy for me to understand the methodology, the organization hierarchy. I am basically there for the same reason, and how an organization runs the groundwork, the market research, how to actually, finance managing and all those. It's challenging, but it's a good platform to learn in real.
Okay, fantastic. So you're learning, you're understanding how the business works, etc., right? The technology and also fantastic. Something?
And from last 2 years, we're basically running the whole show with the interns itself. We have 2 operations and development. We have 2 managers or extremely experienced mentors who can help us, and 5 interns under them. So the mentors or the managers will just be guiding them with their experience and knowledge. Interns are the one who are going to be rotationally changed based on their internship period, and that's how we are running the
Awesome, awesome. Any other examples? Anyone else is doing internship or volunteering or trying to understand what can be done to learn business?
I can
It's worth it. Ma'am, you do something?
Yeah. So personally, as I said, that I started looking out for exposure and expertise where I can apply and learn based on their risks, of course. So I applied to, as we are opening up an online platform for now, I wanted to see the difference between online and offline in terms of mental health, in terms of health, in terms of psychology, a lot of things, because there are a lot of differences and a lot of different point of views. So I interned at offline places, I interned at big organizations, small organizations, to hospitals, and to come till here where I am handling everything from HR to counseling, etc. It just helps to understand each and every aspect, so that when you build up the aspects yourself in startup, it really helps us out.
Perfect. So who can tell me what is the meaning of SHA? Any of the students? In a company, you have shares, right? So S stands for shares. Yeah, agreed. Shareholders agreement, right? So why I'm talking about this is that whenever you're raising money, types of funding, when someone is giving you money, they expect agreements, they expect term sheets, they expect legal agreements to be signed up, and okay, who can tell me what is a cap table? Yes, exactly. Okay. So you have to have a cap table where there is a shareholder agreement. What is the type of shares, quantity of shares, what is the behavior of each share, etc., etc. That's what it means. So I'm just giving you all this very simple stuff because you all should go back and read about it. It's all available. Huh? This is all Googleable. But it's important things to know when you're trying to understand about funding, startups, entrepreneur life, investing, etc., etc. Okay. You all can also share with the audience very crisp. When you all were in discussion with various people, you are with Untitled Innovation, you were trying to set up your companies, etc. What and all came out? What were the discussion points, etc., etc.? Just give crisp, very, very short points.
The idea has to be, first of all, clear, the motto, and then the groundwork. How unique are we? And then the registration formulas, formalities, how to make it, who all will be there, and what is the reason for the number of stakes.
So between you all are two co-founders, right? You all have a shareholder agreement?
She is actually right now a team member. Since my college supported, they wanted one of our HODs to be a partner of it. So she has these shares, and then my mom, she invested and
your mother is okay. So these are the investors, and you have a cap table, and you have agreements and everything, right? Perfect. See, why I'm saying this is that we want to understand, right, what exactly is the process. So I thought let's do it practically rather than trying to, bore all of you all. And also it makes my life easier. I'm being very open about it. Anything that you want to share, please?
Yeah, one challenge that we all face is that we don't exactly know who our customers are. We want to solve a problem, but we don't know the right customer, the right market that we need to place in. And especially for us, it took us a long time to focus on that. Once we focus on that and we let the investors or the public know what it is and where we're going, maybe half the game is solved there.
Okay, perfect. So now let's do one thing. I'm just going back to the beginning, okay? So first I thanked you all, and thank you to this wonderful three folks. Please give them a round of applause. Don't go, you don't have to go, We're doing a recap.
Okay.
This helps, okay? Very crisp. I've told you all what we do and about the various activities that we are into. All right. Then I talked about Dexter Angels and Dexter Capital. We are an investment bank also. We do investment banking and we do mergers, acquisitions, but that is not so important in today's context. Okay, but that's where we make our money, by the way. These are the kind of startups that we are part of, and we look at promising early stage startups, types of funding, own money, borrowed from parents, and you have to return it back, right? It all has to be given back. Profits from the business. You can take bank collaterals. You can take grants, etc., etc. You can take POC stands for. Okay, when you go to someone, you show up to a large company, you can show a proof of concept and they pay you for it. You solve a small problem for them, they pay you for it. That's also a great way to make money for a startup. I did say that do some research work around this, because you can get a lot of information what various industry bodies do. See, we are very lucky to be in a place like Bangalore because everyone is so warm, giving, knowledge sharing is happening. Leverage it, take advantage of it. Okay? I did talk about this. If ever you all work or do some things for not-for-profits, and corporate social responsibility funds can be raised. You can sell products and do this. Do a festival or something like that and make money that way. And some of the links that you all can use. I did talk about this. Read research work. Try to attend demo days. What I mean by demo days is a lot of in Bangalore especially and in other places also, there are a lot of these cohorts where they bring startups, where startups will do elevator pitches, etc., right? Try to see these things online or on YouTube, etc. Because the way they communicate, the way they pitch, the way they talk about problems, solution, we are the best team, how are we understanding and beating the competition, etc., etc. These are things that will build your confidence and your knowledge. Okay? And then, yes, what would supposing your mother or whoever it is has invested in your businesses, what would they look for? You all can take 10 seconds to look at that slide also, don't worry. But otherwise, if you had to give some practical thought processes.
I think vision and belief is the first thing. Yeah, I think vision and belief is the first thing. If they have if the founders have the interest and the vision to take it forward or not.
You can say in your own words.
Yeah, just took it out from there.
Anything that you want to say?
She saw my seriousness about how serious am I in my startup. Commitment. And then my dad saw how valid my idea is. Not just seriousness, but how valid my idea is. And then how much time may I take? Is it will I be sustainable? Will I be surviving in the market or not? That's what they said.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Sir, for you?
My mentor actually made me realize that it's bad to plan a short-term game. It should actually be a long-term game. So initially when we started, it was a very limited period of time. We wanted to solve the problem only in the pandemic period. After that, we realized there's a huge market. So it's the concept and the idea that you take should be solving the problem for a long term and for a huge public.
So how are you all building your teams? Because ultimately we want to take things forward. You have to have a second in command. You have to have someone who can implement things. So how do you make sure that your team is really rock solid? As a startup, as founders, how do you all do that? If anyone else has ideas on that, let's talk about it. It's very critical what investors will look when they fund and the quantum of funding that they're giving you, etc., is about the team. So how does that work for you all? What is your experience?
A person who will see my ambition just like her own too. A mutual,
A belief.
Same skill sets or different skill sets?
Different skill sets, definitely different skill sets.
Yeah, similar way, different skill sets, but again, the belief in the idea or to see it where it is going and to invest their time accordingly.
Okay. Would you have something to say?
It's basically the idea, entrepreneur, and the team which makes the product run or the business run. So I think if we are able to change their individual goals and focus it to whenever they step into our office, it should be like they are completely focusing on the game that we are running. And it should just mean as equal to them that as it is meaning for us.
Okay.
So it should not be just my business or my game, it should be there.
Okay.
If the entrepreneurs are able to convince that to the employees,
sure.
I think
So tell me, now let's talk about two scenarios of types of funding. If a bank loan is given to you, it's also funding. How does a bank make money?
by lending. Interest.
So you can pay the interest, and if you don't pay back the principal, what will happen? Think about it. Okay, so remember that, right? It's also about, there's a principal, there's an interest. This is just giving a bank loan. And family, friends, do they also expect, are you giving them equity, or are you going to give back the money with some interest or something? How does it work?
Differently.
Both, okay? So the exit strategy, there should be a viable exit strategy. So the investor, whoever is putting in that money, if they don't see ways for them to get back the money and make some money beyond that, they will not be able to trust you or put in money to the business, however good your idea is. Okay? So that confidence, research work, and thinking on the viewpoint of the investor is very, very critical when you're looking at funding. Make sense? Right? I mean, it's the love of the person, I care for this person, a great team, they have passion, but ultimately it's about money. Money does make a big difference. We are good with this. Is there anything else that you think is important to talk about?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Referring to the last question, you told about building the team, right? What I believe is we need to have a 3-box framework in that. One is the value, one is the skills, and one is the priority, what they give to the business, like to the idea. So the values can be even the value outside of the startup idea. That's what I believe. Like, what do they think about the world in general? Is the value aligned? Like, for example, any social problem in the world, right? Our values should be aligned. It should not be any conflict. That's what I feel. And the commitment to the idea and the skills that they bring. It should be in such a way that it should, there is a thin line between complementing the skills, synergizing together, and also like not having any difference in opinion.
So have you got your own startup? Are you working on some?
We are basically working on a fintech product, basically trying to execute the MVP and find the PMF right now, if it's possible. So working
How many of you are there together?
So we are 3 people and they are here.
All of you together. Great. Round of applause for them. We want to know what's going on. 6 months from now, you got to tell us what's happening. Are you all still friends?
we are friends. That's
also very important, okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, this I know is a bit of a longer slide, but okay, let me just, it's also about this, okay? We talked about problems, solutions, all that we have done. But finally, ultimately is that supposing you had to give an elevator pitch to the 100 people out here, what would you ask for?
Please come again.
Look at the slide. Just take a second to look at the slide. Your asks, right? You're in front of a pitch. You're doing a pitch. You're in front of potential investors or a customer or whatever it is. So here it is this, right? What do you want from them? Like you're having this Manthan program. What is the expectations you have? Don't talk. I'll give you the mic. So just look at this again. Okay? And then you have 20 seconds, not even 30. 20 seconds to give an elevator pitch of what you want from the Manthan team.
So this is Team Sant. We are basically the idea to bring the entire textile fraternity to one single forum. We are e-market, not just e-commerce or something. We are totally different from currently running online business. It's an idea to get the artisans, untapped organized sectors, to bring them to the limelight, to give what they're worth in the market. This is our idea. So from Manthan, I would expect mentoring, guidance, and obviously investments.
You think you have covered everything?
Sport, hiring.
You don't get a second chance.
Okay. So we are Team Moksh, and we are focusing just not only on physical health, mental health, or any other kind of alternative health healing modalities. We are looking at a holistic model of health, wherein we will be providing from the top till the end, hand-holding a personal curator to them, and we are looking at reaching out to as many people as we can, reach out, which we might be having a limitation on, and also to invest some amount as well as the mentorship.
Okay, great. Sir, after you.
All right, as I've already told, the problem that we are solving over here is that we are going to focus fast on the hiring process for the HRs and also the present exam management system, which is not so good. So when we make it completely online or partially online, so that's going to solve a lot of problems. But what we're going to ask over here is, one, mentoring, especially in handling team, because a lot of entrepreneurs here would know the skill and importance of handling team, and also investment.
Perfect, thank you. You think they did justice? They followed some of these principles?
No, I did not.
So are you all studying that slide for the next 3 seconds each? Okay, then I'm going to give you all 10 seconds. I repeat, 10 seconds, and I grab the mic back. Let me start with you now, so you get extra time. Rethink your pitch, 10 seconds. Not to think, to start.
Okay. So rethinking my pitch, I would say definitely I still would need a lot of reach out. So one, to how to reach out to mass number of people where we cannot, plus hiring good amount of specialists that we would need at our platform. And then for now, we are not looking at geography because we are opening up online portal. But maybe down the line, whenever we want to open, which are the good cities, how we can go about it, and also to how we can make a team contribute in the process which we want to go ahead with.
Thank you. Okay.
So continuation with my previous 20 seconds. We would like to see ourselves as a big unicorns, just like how our Prime Minister Modi ji is dreaming of. So there will be we want to give a lot of jobs to many other people too. We have to hire more people. So, but we aren't aware how to hire and all those. But we consider here you are all very much savvy, technically savvy in many other ways. So with your guidance, we will be taking those investment. And we will be we'll be using it in networking, marketing, and basically becoming a unicorn.
Amazing, boss. Round of applause for the two ladies. They're really cool. But you should ask for how much money you want next time, okay? So for you, 10 seconds.
As I said, we would need more mentoring on handling the team and also to restructure our business model. Since our product requires both voice and also video indexing team, so that's something which we would want you to mentor us on. And tech support is, we already have a backup tech support which is really good, and tech support is not something we are looking, and hiring is also not something we are looking. And opening offices in new geographies is one of a plan that we are adding on, because we want to go global. We want to get our product out of India. So those mentors and ideas with that. Funding, as I've already said, we are here to learn this pitch.
So I just change the slide, make him, it's done, 10 seconds, okay? But thank you so much. So why we're doing this is we want to learn from each other. Okay, were you all nervous when you were talking?
Yes.
Nervous? I don't think so.
Not
Cool, man. Okay, so just go through this. I mean, I look, again, this is going to be with you all. Get some screenshots done or get this thing over there. See, because this is what I'm talking about, ending with your asks, right? You can ask for support. That I want to raise capital, I'm looking for a co-founder, I'm looking for more support, I want some publicity, I want to get published in a newspaper, anything. We don't know. But you all should be prepared for it, right? And then we also talked about, the business model. How do you make money? Because ultimately you have to make lots of money. Maybe you want some support and help around that. Your team, you want to talk about your solution, your problem statement. And how many of you all have worked? I saw that you have your artisan t-shirt. So that's your brand, right? But is it your brand? Is your company brand? No, it's not. Huh? Okay. But okay, H&M, okay. But see, the point here is, if any of you guys have set up a startup and you'll get an opportunity, you already know you all will get this opportunity, right? But you should be ready anytime. You know that who knows the origin of elevator pitch? Why is it called an elevator pitch? Some stories and rumors and urban legends are there, right? That people had 15 seconds, they got into a lift with some investors or this or that, and they had just that 15-20 seconds to talk and explain. So that's why it's an elevator pitch. Okay? There's a reason, there's a logic. It could be an urban legend, I don't know, but that's how it is. Okay? So you'll have to be ready any time for an opportunity to hire, to get customers, to pitch, to ask for money, to ask for funding, to get customers on board, etc. Whatever. There's so many partnerships, alliances, right? That's what the life of a founder is. You're raising all the time, you're selling all the time, you're hiring every time, and you're resting all the time, and you're working hard every time. God knows how that works. I don't want to find out, but I'm sure you all will. Okay? Any questions on this, ladies and gentlemen? So that we can move and, anything that you all disagree with, any other thoughts in your mind? Any of you all, please, go ahead.
I don't want to just accept that statement. Modi is dreaming for the nation. The young generation has to fulfill it. Can you change your statement now?
Definitely.
What statement you want to make?
We want to fulfill the dreams of young generation.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I would like you all to pay attention to the last couple of lines, a tip that I've written, right? Start with a crisp story, your elevator pitch. Scan the audience. Who are the people in the audience? Who are you meeting? What do you know about them? And then can you, figure out the real story in terms of who's the audience? Is it an investor? Is it a customer? Could it be a future hire? You want interns, you want to bring in people to your whatever, to work with you, etc., etc. So you all should be constantly prepared and alert and calm and confident to pitch anytime, because you need funding, you need hiring, you need customers. Okay? So this is what this we talked about. Is there something else that we should talk about here? I mean, it's very exhaustive, I know, but, or maybe I have also missed out something, or any other perspective that anyone has?
Uniqueness, USP.
Yeah, your USP, your moat, like why you? Why should anyone back you up? What's so great about you? Okay? So that again I've covered in the previous one. Who's your team? Who's your investors? What's so great about, your product, your service, how it works, what's the ROI, and, what has been the impact, and why is your solution so unique? So that covers here. This slide is specifically about what do you want? And you should ask, okay? Because I get this feedback many times from people who come outside of India. They say that in India, especially South India, for whatever reason, people are not so open about what they want, or they're not so aggressive. I will not use the word aggressive, but they're not confident sometimes. Or they're not firm in the way they talk about their product and their service and their skill set. So please don't let that ever eat into you, okay? Be calm, be confident, be assertive, but not aggressive. Aggressive can kind of, put off people, etc., etc. As long as you know your data and everything, okay? So, I mean, okay, tell me some of these things. Which are the so-called hot sectors? What is doing well? What is not doing well? As per you, all the headlines that you all read about. Just let's shout out. Which are the sectors that are hot now? Nykaa is doing well, so that's D2C, etc., cosmetics. Then we all want to look good. Then loud, little bit louder. Blockchain technology, whatever that means. Very dangerous. Whatever that means. No, what I mean is, which are the sectors? So blockchain is not a sector.
Health.
Fintech is hot. Okay, great. Health is hot. Okay, great. E-commerce, because we have seen the kind of way that the world has changed, the landscape has changed. What else? Give me some examples.
Even the tech is changing.
Real estate is always green, okay? There are a lot of different combinations now in real estate.
A massive revolution in edtech.
Okay, entertainment is back. People are going, OTT is there, movies people are watching, people are traveling also, hotels are back. What else is there? What else is going well? Where is the funding happening? Who's raising a lot of money? So, tourism? I don't know, maybe. Who else? Education, right? Education, a lot of money got raised in the past. Okay? Health sector, of course, definitely. Okay, now who are the companies? I mean, I know I've given the answers here, but there are lots of companies are there which are profitable. Some of them not even raised money. Like a Zerodha has not raised money. Zoho has not raised money, right? So it's not about only funding or whatever, right? Customers' money also is funding. But why do you think some of these companies are doing well? If you have to give some thought process on that. Anything from anyone?
Maybe the market reach is good and they have the very good relationship with their customers.
The idea
their
is
B2C is really strong. And,
Okay. So client relationship, is customer relationship,
is
user
really strong.
is very good, very good. Okay.
And the average rate of customer proposition is like really 1:3. So they get more customers from their customers itself.
So they have referrals, they have more and more people using it. So that's why they're making money. Okay, great. Any other inputs from you all?
The idea has been... Okay. The idea has been very crisp and clear, and also in terms of going ahead with the process of if the customers are going to be coming back, or if just the one-time thing, or how it is, that can also reach out more.
Yeah, so brands are being built, products are being built. Fantastic. What are the other, okay, this is something important, okay, sustainability and this environmental part of it, right? There's going to be a lot of attention on that. So whenever you're building a business, try to look at some of these environmental goals and all that, because few years down the line, that is going to be a very, very core thing that people are going to look at. Are you going to be a polluting industry? I mean, I know that today's scenario is that we're using a lot of coal, we use a lot of whatever, all the bad fossil fuels, etc., and we're paying for it literally with our health and with lots of money that we are putting in. But things will change over the next few years. So just keep that in mind as you're building your businesses, and also where are you going to work. Okay? So yes, SaaS, what does SaaS stand for?
Service as software.
Software as service, right? So you have a lot of big companies like Zoho, Freshdesk, etc. And internationally also you have many people. Also try to think of some of these companies like, there's Whatfix and all the, many companies are there which have raised a lot of money and are very profitable as well. All right? So I'm just giving this as an indication that these are some of the industries that are doing well, right? We talked about healthcare, fintech, hospitality, travel, real estate is always there, hot. And within real estate now you have a lot of changes. A lot of things are coming for different, okay. Now, this is something for you guys now, yeah. What can you do? Okay, all this is great. All this is fantastic. We have read the newspapers. We have come here. We're all talking. What do you think can you all do now in future? If I would start with you all, what are the plans and how will you get even sharper, better, stronger? And, as you're building your future and whatever else you're trying to do. What are the few things that you will do? What have you all done so far, and how do you look at alum networks? How do you meet more industry leaders? How do you do this? Is there a way? Can someone in the audience help each other? Front row, sorry? So how are you doing it? Talk practical stuff. What are you doing?
Basically, myself, I create content.
Okay, so you have a platform, you want to tell people?
No, just on Twitter, yeah. Follow me at Dhyan Kedilaya, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
So basically by creating content, okay, I would like to tell you one thing. There's a guy called Naval Ravikant who I professionally follow, okay. He's an NRI, whatever. So according to his philosophy, he says to dominate the world in the next upcoming years, there are two things that you need to have your backing on. That is code and media. So that is code and content. If you know how to code and if you have some distribution in the media sector, that is by providing content.
Who doesn't know how to code here?
Yeah, at
So
least.
are you in trouble?
If
As per this gentleman, you're in serious trouble, huh?
If not code, at least media. That's
okay,
what.
great. Yeah, but you all should read about Naval Ravikant. He's part of Product Hunt and Angel List.
Angel List, yes.
Yes, but I want to be more practical here. Like, what are you all doing? What will you all do over the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to build your capability and skill set?
Create content daily. Be consistent at creating content in Twitter and LinkedIn. Try to network over there.
So who else is doing that? How many LinkedIn followers are there? Do you all have YouTube channel?
No.
Could you all blog on Quora or Medium? Have you all even heard all these things? Yes?
Yes,
How many of you are doing it? Honestly tell me. Like, are you all figuring out how do you all look at, do you know that LinkedIn Learning is there? You can go to, if you all want to, you'll have startups or you want to be part of startups and all, go to Y Combinator, go to Techstars, you can even go to, within India, there are so many people like 100x VC.
Your
story is there. Okay, are you all doing this research work?
Blue Learning. Yes, sir.
And who are your mentors in the college that you all are part of?
Basically, people from the MBA department.
Talk on the mic. Huh?
Basically, we are associated with another company. So that is where we are outsourcing our tech from. So that's a really strong company, and we are mentoring a lot of IT and tech from there. So apparently I've got an opportunity to reach out to a lot of mentors and entrepreneurs over there. And the same way, I am switching those knowledge and trying to create courses and contents for communication and hiring.
Okay, good. So this is, I have a lot of snapshots like this. I'm just giving you an example of last month's funding scenario, right? Who are the investors? What are the companies, etc., etc. How do you all find out about all this information? Which are the someone said your story. This I've got from ET, Economic Times Tech. There's something called ET Tech Deals Digest. So every 15 days, every month they announce all this kind of information. Okay, so that's one more resource that you all can use to find out which sectors, which companies, and who is putting in money over there. Okay, so this is about funding, right? Who's funding whom? Where they're funding? Which are the sectors? So what you all should pay attention to. Then this is something about, okay, I was like, we were talking about different sectors. So this one here is actually cyber security. All this that you see, right? Bngalore and Securtech and this Lucidus, these are all well-known cyber security companies. On the right are the healthcare companies, especially a lot of these companies grew during the time of pandemic. So why I'm saying that is, even in your funding scenarios, right? When anyone who was working, say, in travel, hospitality, co-working, co-living, or whatever, wherever there was physical contact, right? Sports arena, etc., all these guys, their funding dried up. Because they were in a wrong sector at the wrong time, unfortunately. Now there's a comeback. And you'll actually see a lot of healthcare companies and education companies are slowing down and are struggling to open up more to, to build their thing, they're laying off, etc. So paying attention to the trends, to pay attention, not just be a slave to the trends, but making sure that you don't get into trouble later on. The skill sets that you have to build for the future. That's what I'm very, very specifically talking about here. Okay? And that's me. And this is something else that I would love to do for you guys, okay? Your college innovation cells, any one of you guys want to, get in touch with me in terms of, I share a lot of information on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, but WhatsApp groups is also where I keep giving, I have access to reports, which are of really high quality. They're only 90 pages, 200 pages each, but that's okay, man. Spend your time, read all this because it makes sense for you, okay? And, and what else can we talk about? How many of you are like introverts and shy and you would love to just sit on your own and not talk to anyone else the whole day? Nothing to feel bad about. Nothing to feel bad about. Huh?
Yeah, it's okay to be an introvert.
It's okay to be an introvert, okay? So you'll have to kind of, anyone who's there who's shy, but remember that it's okay, right? It's not your fault or it's not a bad thing to do. But when it comes to the right time and you have to push yourself out, you have to go for interviews, you have to go for, building your own company or selling, you must not be an introvert then. Okay? What else? How much time do I have? And opening the thing to any questions. Please don't make it very tough questions which I can't answer.
Sir,
yes. Oh my God.
guide regarding art of networking, business culture that you said.
So art of networking is very simple. That again, you don't network or you build contacts when you have to do it. Do it well before when you don't really, when things are not so desperate or tough. Okay? And networking means you make a list of who are the kind of people that you want to talk to or know. It could be for investment, right? Or it could be for mentoring. We keep talking, you're using this word mentoring. What does it mean? How do you identify the right mentors? Be careful about that. Someone who has no idea whatsoever on marketing, if you're going to go to them and ask them about how to build digital and branding and this and that, you're in deep trouble. It is your stupidity that you're going to someone and you will not even understand the right way. But then if you want to go to someone who's really good in building brands, product, who's super good in creating YouTube channels and content and writing and Instagram reels, etc., of the good quality, ethical quality, they are the right persons to talk to. Okay? If you talk to someone who is not from that certain domain, for example, if you are building something which is social impact, but you're not going to someone who's very clear about what is the meaning of social impact. So identifying the right mentors, identifying the right people to talk to, where to go, what to say, how to behave, that's the art of networking, right? You're also building your own persona when you go out. Like for example here, there may be at least 10, 12 people who are from different institutions, etc., etc. How do you talk to them? How do you approach them? That's where the networking aspect comes in. Did I answer that?
Sir, so now I just told about my startup. So being a social impact, what do you think is most important now? Getting into the market and getting my subscribers is most important, or branding it is important? If branding, how branding?
See, why you want to do branding?
Then how do I attract my subscribers?
Yeah, so you focus on that. So the answer for you is not whether I should do branding or not. What is the outcome that you want? Focus on that and then work backwards. Say, okay, I want an outcome is I want lots of subscribers. So for that, do I need to build a brand? Do I need to get a better website? Do I need to be part of Telegram groups, WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups? That's how it works. How do I know I'm part of the right group? What are the metrics that I'm doing? If I'm doing X, Y, Z, am I getting more subscribers? Are people unsubscribing? Is the quality of my content bad? Or is the quality of people who are coming to me are not the right type? That's why they're unsubscribing. So that's what you have to focus on. That's the metrics. You have to have that flow. You have to do testing. You have to see whether it's working or not. And you have to have your outcomes there. That I want to achieve this. If you're not achieving it, go back to the drawing board. Any other questions, inputs?
And when do you actually figure out your company is ready for fundraising?
When the fundraiser gives money. It's as simple as that.
Before even pitching.
No, I mean, unless you have proper, a solid team, you have metrics of sales, all your sales and marketing collaterals are up, don't go to them. Because you should not go to them saying, I don't have money, that's why I don't have a website, that's why I don't have a proper SEO, I don't have this. They'll say, man, you're supposed to figure all this out yourself first. Otherwise, you will not, especially in today's scenario, unless you're pretty well set up and you understand your game and you have some customers and early users, early adopters. And look, when you're saying funding means, I'm also talking about family, friends and self. That's the first funding, not institutional funding. Okay, then comes the angels, etc., etc. All right? Okay, what else? How are you going to build your partners? How are you going to get people to align with you, work with you, believe in you? That's a vision. That's how funding comes. Huh?
How do we create trust?
Trust and goodwill is the key and most important thing.
I think one more important thing is being open to learning, because the world is changing, constantly changing, and if we constantly doesn't change ourselves and our process to go about and achieve the destination that you're talking about, that we fix outcomes, I think it's not going to work.
Okay, perfect. And shall we do a recap? Always we should do recaps. We talked about some of the hot sectors. These are some of the sectors that are doing well. Again, I'm just saying, whether it's your story or it is Inc. 42 or ET Tech or, VC Circle, etc., etc. You can get a lot of information on what is the funding that is happening, which sectors they are in, who has put in that money, etc., etc. Okay? D2C, very big. I don't know if you all heard of, there's this man shaving company are there. There are so many, clothing brands that have come out. There are so many sustainable products that have come out. They're all D2C. They're not relying on big retail or Amazons of the world to distribute. All right? This is some things I keep talking. These are the research work, okay? If you want to know, there's Money Control, there is Next Big Brand, there is N-Tracker, there is, everyone talking, what are the unicorns, startups, and which are the sectors they're in, where have they raised money from. So all this information, I'm giving you these links so that tomorrow you all can go back and you all can share it. This PowerPoint is available. I can convert into a PDF and maybe reshare it with some folks. No problem. Okay. And what can you do from now, right? I'm just talking to you about how well do you use a Clubhouse or a Koo or a Twitter or SlideShare? Are you guys building your own podcasts? There is SoundCloud is there, Spotify is there. They're all free. Use these tools to learn and to distribute content, right? You're talking about branding and content, right? These are all free. Learn how to use it. That's what I'm saying. This, understanding digital marketing, do a little bit of mini projects. Go to malls, not for shopping, but to understand customer behavior, how brands are. Look at how the look and feel, the displays are being done, how's operations being done. These are will give you a lot of ideas. And meet and talk to more industry leaders, identify the right business leaders. Okay, the right leader with the wrong conversation doesn't help you at all. Right? Try to figure out more of these things, try to understand some of the new techs that are happening, which are the focus areas, right? We're talking about low carbon footprint, sustainability. This is very serious stuff. Please learn and understand it now. because it's going to be the most important aspects going forward. Right? This is about the team slides. You're asked what will you do for funding, why you want funding, how will you utilize it, your team, the tech support that you want, mentoring, why and from whom. Very critical. It's not just I want mentoring. First, do your research work. Why do you want it and from whom do you want it and what are the specific learnings that you want. This is a bit complicated, but please, just take some time to run through this. This will really help you. And I'm talking about this elevator pitch, the memory hooks. When you talk to different people, you have to have a different thought process and different way of talking. Ultimately, what does the investor want for you? They want a viable exit strategy. They don't want to pay you too much of money and for too less of the equity. And they will look at how big the market is, how good the team is, and how well will you really, build a company and take the sales vision forward. For you folks, I would really encourage, look out, where are the ways that you can volunteer? Who can you talk to? Where can you intern? How do you get the knowledge from different industries, etc., etc.? It's all available, right? You have to get really good in searching the right material from Google or from whichever source that you want. Okay? Types of funding, because this is what it's all about. But I was more concentrating on the pathway towards funding. Like, how do you get there? What are the skill sets that you have to build? How do you understand the different aspects about it? Different states and the country and the government of India does a lot of work. There are a lot of policies, there are a lot of grants, there are a lot of schemes. Understand it. Take your time. It may be a little bit too early for you right now, but at some point of time, you need this understanding. Grants can be done, customer money, profits from the business. There are different ways to raise money, different kinds of funding. Crowdfunding is there. And these are some things that you all should understand. But of course, I always started first. Own money, borrowed or loaned or gifted. Very important. Get gifts from your family so that you never have to return money from... Okay, this is a little bit about why I'm concentrating on this is, these are, look at the, this is actually very few, there are more, but there are more companies, but it couldn't fit into one slide. But these are some of the different aspects that who are these companies, who are the people. And yes, this is me coming back to let's start with the end in mind. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Lively and interactive session for all of us. A huge round of applause to Vijeta Shastri, ladies and gentlemen. And also thanks to all the 3 or 4 students who came forward being the sport in, being a part of this interactive session. Thanks to you as well. Friends, the next session that is planned for today is on the various funding opportunities that the traditional banking sector can offer for startups. To share his knowledge in this particular topic, we have with us manager from the SMB, that is Small and Medium Businesses sector of SBI, Mr. Jitesh K. I request Jitesh to kindly come forward, and I request Abhishek to escort Jitesh and honor him with a memento, please. I also request Rahul Goel to join us. And on behalf of FKCCI, we can honor the speakers, please. Thank you, Abhishek and Rahul.
So, just before they start, I would like to make one announcement. Thank you, Vijeta, for a wonderful session. And so this comes from TIE Bngalore. So Vijeta was previously associated with TIE as the CEO, I guess, or Executive Director. And if I can just get you on stage once again. And Lakshmi. Lakshmi currently is associated with TIE. She has been coordinating all the jury mentors for Manthan and for all of us. So, as come, both of you come. As previous association with TIE Vijeta and the current association with TIE Lakshmi, they've just given us, all the students here, something to cherish. Madan Padaki, who is the current president of the TIE Bngalore chapter, we thank him. He has graciously offered free student membership to all these 75 teams. So it's a free membership which is actually paid on a yearly subscription. I think it's for 1 year, right? So 1 year free student membership for TIE Bangalore. So TIE is a non-profit organization. It's a member-driven organization. It has over 600 plus members associated. They have associate members as well as charter members, each one of them at different stages of entrepreneurships, many of them serial entrepreneurs. And it's a very, very, very great place to network, to get your questions answered. Right through the year, they organize a lot of events. Like how Vijayata mentioned, there were so many different events that TIE organizes. And you can get to attend, learn, and be a part of TIE Bangalore chapter as a student member for the next 1 year. I would like to thank TIE for graciously having given this membership to the top 75 teams. So, from a process of Lakshmi, so for them, Lakshmi, for them to sign up for this student membership. Google form, okay. List? Okay, so basically, all of you might definitely know Daksha and Soumya, who are the FKCCI coordinators from Manthan. So I would have them send you the form where you need to fill to automatically avail this student membership. Please take that up. I definitely recommend that each one of you sign up as soon as you get this information and start using the services from TIE Bangalore. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So we are coming out with a special branch for the startups. This is what the information I would like to share with you. Only as this is one of its kind concept from SBI, wherein we are going to open a special branch for the startups to cater their needs. And in that branch, we'll be basically catering the funding requirement, a current account specially designed for the startups, like a zero balance current account, which is an important thing for the startup. Then we'll be having all our joint ventures, like we'll be having our SBI mutual fund, all SBI joint ventures, wherein which will help the startup in the initial stage to a level wherein they can float an IPO. Till that level, it will be like from the budding stage to a level like you will be going for an IPO. So, and this branch is coming at Koramangala, and we have a team of around 8 people who are reaching to all the incubation centers and the startups which are already established. So we'd like to meet you people at the incubation center, because at present we are facing a lot of constraint in the incubation center. We are not able to meet you people at the security level itself. We have been restricted. So that's the main challenge. So with FKCCI providing us access to meet you startups at the incubation center will help us. And regarding the funding thing, we have a funding like Mudra loan and the CGTMSC, wherein the collateral-free loans have been provided to the startups or the SMEs. And you can reach us. I'll share my contact number so that if you have any doubt or queries regarding this loan, I would really like to help you out. This is my friend Keshav. He's also from SBI.
Hi friends. As my sir told that we were not informed or prepared, so I just like to take 10 minutes of yours. The State Bank of India is coming out with a new initiative, basically for startups only. Because as of now, there was nothing for startups, particularly for startups in our bank. This time we have thought to come up with a new concept, a very different environment for startups, where we can help, where they can, from the budding stage, they can come up and we can involve in it properly. Basically, this bank funding is totally depending upon the balance sheets, profits, which generally startups don't have. So for that, there are some government schemes like CGT MSc, where you can apply a loan collateral free. You don't have to give any collateral, and that is up to 2 crores. For manufacturing and for service sector, it is around up to 1 crore. There, government will give the guarantee on your behalf to us, and we can provide you such facilities. But for that, which we as a bank think is, we have to understand the needs of the startup first. You have to start a relationship with us, so that with your day-to-day business and transactions, we can understand what and which type of facilities you want from us. So for that, we are targeting only startups. There is a very new concept. Pan-India, only one branch has been opened. Actually, it will be inaugurated on 16th of August. It is in Kormangla. And all the budding entrepreneurs and startups, we request you to come and visit that branch. It's a state-of-art building. You can just come and visit. You can ask whatever your queries are, and we can help you out. So that's all, and all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you. Any questions regarding this bank funding? Our relationship manager, Mr. Jitesh, is there. You can ask. But what I think is right now you don't have any idea what all the details and what all the complications business face while taking a loan from bank. So it's fine. You will share our contacts with the organizers. You can just take our contact numbers and come to the branch also. We'll wholeheartedly wait for you to come, and we can discuss whatever you want. Thank you.